The views and opinions expressed by the guest author or speaker during this live session are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of Reader's Magnet. The content shared is for informational purposes only and does not constitute endorsement or promotion of any particular belief, ideology, or product.
Yes, hello, authors, book lovers, and storytellers. Welcome to another session here in Reader's Magnet's featured author interview. My name is Leah, and I will be your interviewer for today. And yes, with me is one of the Reader's Magnet's featured author, and today she will be sharing to us what this book is all about, her as an author, and of course, what inspired her to write this book. So, yes, everyone, let's all welcome our prestigious recipient for the Quill Inspiration Awards, Ms. Gloria Iatridis, author of the book Booked, a strong start for your child actor. Yes, hi Gloria, it's good to see you again. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm doing great. I'm happy to be here and sharing with you today.
Yeah, so thank you so much for that, Gloria. So yes, of course, Gloria, before we dive into the, deeper information about your book, of course, we wanted to know who Miss Gloria Iatridis is. So yes, a self-introduction, please.
Okay, so just to clarify, I'm one of the co-authors of Booked along with my
Mm,
daughter, Olivia Kate Iatridis. So I'm Gloria Iatridis. I am an Inuvialuit, a member of the Inuvialuit settlement region in Canada's Arctic. And um, I'm a mom, of course, of two. I'm also retired from government. I had spent 30 years of my career in a variety of roles throughout government. And now I just enjoy, being able to promote and continue to write books with my daughter, Olivia. So.
wow. Thank you so much for that, Gloria. So you're the co-author of this book. As you mentioned earlier, that Olivia Kate, your author, I mean, your daughter is also one who also write this book. So yeah, can you tell us more information about that, Gloria? What inspired you and Olivia Kate to write Booked, and who do you recommend to read it?
Sure. The book actually came about because of Olivia. And at the age of 13, she had told me very adamantly that she wanted to become
Mm,
a professional actress. And at the time, I knew nothing about the industry. She didn't as well. And I tried to dissuade her at the beginning and say, maybe you should wait, finish school,
mm,
and get involved in the industry when you're older. But I at the time saw the look on her face. She was very determined. Olivia has always been very artistic, and she was a dancer and a skater, and in addition
such
to
a
attending
talented
school
child.
full time. Yeah, and she just really wanted to give it a try. And because she was so passionate and I could see the look in her eyes that this was
Mm-hmm.
truly what she wanted to do, I decided, well, why not? Why not invest in her? But at the time, she did tell me when I'm 18, I'm moving away from home to pursue acting. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and it made me very worried, more so about her safety. And I thought, I have 5 years. She's 13 at the time. She's planning on leaving at 18, which she did. I have 5 years to learn alongside her and build a strong foundation for her to be able to go and work in the industry. And so we did that. We worked together. She built a really good foundation by the time she was 18. She continues to work in the industry. She has 20 international movie database credits now. I had a lot of friends and family say to me, like, what did you do to support your daughter? I know of either my children or my grandchildren, they're all interested in working as well as an actor. But people just didn't know where to start. And
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of technical guides out there for actors on, the process and stuff. But we decided, why not share our knowledge through a really simple, plain language guide that also shares stories of our actual experiences.
Mm-hmm.
help other parents and children who are really passionate about wanting to work in the industry. And the interesting thing about all of this is, we had a sort of a target group audience that, we were writing for. But what I found over the last year, especially, is that
Mhm.
we recommend that anybody read the book. I've had so many people come up to me that don't have children, are not interested in the industry, and say to me, I've read your book and we loved it. And it inspired us so much. It's such positive messaging, and there's lots of clear, concise information that's not just
Wow.
useful for the acting world, but for
That's
other
nice.
parents. And so, yeah, recommend, just based on feedback that I received, that anyone pick it up and read it.
Well, thank you so much for that, Gloria. And I must say that congratulations to for the success of your book, Gloria. Because just like what you mentioned earlier, and we've actually seen it online as well. That yes, you've been getting a lot of positive feedback, good comments about your book. And you know what? One thing that I really like about your book, Gloria, because it really it's about supporting your child in developing their talents, because it really offers a lot of advantages, especially that they're already in this kind of industry. At the same time, you mentioned earlier that this book really, I must say that it really aims to for the parents to prepare for, I mean, the book also aims to prepare parents and children for the challenges and at the same time the rewards of being a child actor or on their child acting career. At the same time, it really highlights the dedication required while celebrating successes along the way. So it is really a roller coaster journey for both parents and their child. Wow, that's interesting, Gloria. Now, also, Gloria, as a mother-daughter team, how did your own experiences in the industry shape the stories and guidance you share?
Yeah, the stories, the guidance in the book, are based on our real life experiences that we have had in the industry over most of them are based off of the first 5 years, where
Mm-hmm.
Olivia and I learned alongside of each other as we were building her career, and we made many mistakes. And there were many times where we would laugh about them later on. But there's, it's such a complex industry, and there are many unwritten rules, and definitely different expectations for people who work in the field. And
Mm-hmm.
um, the important thing to note is, when it comes to children and youth, there are risks. And, Olivia and I were able, through our experiences, to really identify what those certain red flags are that parents need to look out for in order to ensure the safety of their children.
Mm-hmm.
And, what's really unique, and I think it's one of the reasons why our book has been getting the recognition that it has, is that you have a variety of perspectives, right? As a mother, I provide my perspective in the book. I was also her momager, and so I
Momager,
was
I like that.
yeah, I was involved in a lot of the business aspects of the
Mm-hmm.
work that she did. And then Olivia, she was the one who actually worked on set, and,
Mm-hmm.
she gained the experiences of what it was like. And so when we wrote the book together, we were able to provide a broader perspective um, out to other parents, so that they get, a well-rounded version of what to look out for when starting out in the industry. And so I think it just made booked that much more comprehensive, and provides good information for parents,
Mm-hmm.
child actors, and any actor who is working in the industry as well.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't need to be a child. It's someone might be new, and wanting to be involved. So it still provides good tips for them as well.
Right. I mean, the insights are really shaped by the years of managing Olivia Kate's career, witnessing both the the challenges, and at the same time the achievement of her as a child actor, and at the same time really understanding the unwritten rules that often only come with the experience herself. Because you know what, Gloria, I must say that this background really enables them to offer the advice on a critical topics, like just like what you said earlier, like finding the representation, handling contracts, because you really need to be involved, right? Maintaining a healthy work life balance, ensuring that you as a parent and a child actor are really well prepared for the demands of the industry while celebrating their achievements as well. Wow, yeah, that really highlights, the topic about your book, what is it really advocating for, the specific agenda. And wow, that's really nice. It's really great, Gloria. Wow. And you know what, you also mentioned earlier about the safety support that needs to be on the set. Now, what are some of um the most important steps parents can take to keep their children, let's say, safe and supported at the same time to during onset?
Yeah. There's a number of different themes throughout the book
Mm-hmm.
because we write it from, an Indigenous perspective. We talk about diversity, inclusion, and everything.
Right.
But the biggest thing and the most important thing for Olivia and I when we set out to write the book was to really emphasize child safety for a
Mm-hmm.
number of reasons. And, within book, we tried to keep it really clear and concise and easy to understand. There's so many different things. One of the biggest things is if you have a minor, depending on the law, yeah, where you live, never leave your child alone on set, or never leave your child
Mm,
alone with anyone while negotiating work. Or, that's a number one thing. And there's laws out there that allow for you to be with your child. It's actually a
mm,
requirement.
that's
And when Olivia was younger,
that's a good information. Mm-hmm.
yeah, when she was younger, there were work opportunities that said, "Oh, you can drop your child off, or we can pick your child up."
Mm-hmm.
Um, like, that's great, but there's an obligation there that your child should always have a parent on set. Um,
Right.
and the other important thing, is there are laws out there. I mentioned that one particular law. It's really important for parents or any young actor to understand what those child labor laws are and your child's rights, in regards to like big things like how long they are required to work on set. There
Mm-hmm.
were times where Olivia was on set for 12 to 14 hours with a half
Oh,
hour lunch break, which is probably
right.
not within the law, because at the time I didn't fully understand the whole
Mm-hmm.
system. So it's important to also teach your child to speak up, because you're not always going to be near them. Olivia,
Right.
when she was on set, I was not anywhere near. I would be close by, in the building
Mm-hmm.
or in the car or outside the building. But she, needed to know that it was okay for her to speak up if she felt like she was at risk,
Mm,
or to say
that's
something if
important.
something didn't feel safe. And so it's important to let your child know, because I
Right.
think that's a big deal. I think a lot of times young people and actors in general think that they can't say anything for fear of, losing the opportunity of being in a movie or something. um,
Mm-hmm.
Safety should come first. So you could teach them that they can say no as well,
Right.
and ask for a break if they need a break. There were many times where opportunities would come up, and I thought, oh great, this would be so great for Olivia's career, and she would say to me, Mom, no, I'm not interested. I don't want to play that role. That's not what I'm
Mm-hmm.
interested in. And then like I mean, I had to respect that, as
Right.
she needed the opportunity to make her own decisions on what she wanted to work on, and where her comfort lied in regards to the different roles that you can play. um The other thing that I really emphasized when Olivia was growing up was to make sure that, the acting world wasn't her whole entire world, and that
Mm-hmm.
all this pressure that she had to take on many jobs, and and that took priority over everything else. She still needed to attend school. She
Mm-hmm.
still had her personal life. She still had all these other activities that she really enjoyed. And so making sure that, she has balance in her life. And I think that's an important thing for parents. Sometimes they, may see these big opportunities as, helping for the future, but they're still children at the end of the day. Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and
Right.
I mean, like I think as a parent, and if your child is working, it's important to be kind of an oversight and watch out for, whether or not they're being overworked or pressured, or there's situations where they may have concerns and no one is addressing them. Those are some
Right.
of the big tips that I think I
Mm-hmm.
want to emphasize today.
Yes, and you just did that, Gloria. I mean, this book of yours is really something that could also help parents to really ensure their child's safety and well-being, on set by thoroughly researching and selecting the, the production that comply with, just like what you mentioned earlier about the child labor law, the industry standards. Additionally, they should also advocate for, the appropriate, breaks, proper accommodation, and at the same time really about the supportive environment, while also staying informed about their child's rights, because that's very important. It needs to be highlighted. And at the same time, providing emotional support to really manage the pressure of being in the industry of acting, right? And well,
Yeah.
that's really amazing, Gloria. Now, also Gloria, this guide would really help parents out there to really know or to have a thorough knowledge about their child being in the industry. Now, I'd like to ask personally, have you seen situations where, let's say directors or producers knew an actor was being treated unfairly or let's say unsafely, but didn't act? Like, how should those moments be handled?
Yeah. Unfortunately, I did see, there were times
Oh.
where that
Mm-hmm.
happened, especially in one particular situation where
Mm-hmm.
Olivia had a significant role and was on
Oh.
set for a longer period of time,
Mm.
where, at the time, the work environment was very toxic. And
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't just Olivia that was feeling it. It was a number of other actors. It was cast and crew. And they were very aware of a number of unprofessional things that were taking place on the site. But many of them were afraid to speak out, and no one wanted to say anything for fear of, being having repercussions against them.
Right.
Um,
Mhm.
and first of all, in my opinion, no one on a set, whether cast or crew, should be afraid to speak out if there are issues going on, especially when children and youth are involved. Um,
Mhm. Right.
so important for cast and crew to know that there are supports available for them.
Right. This is very crucial.
Yes, like actors can go and speak to their agents and let their agents
Mhm.
know what's happening. Crew members, they should understand. If you understand the laws around filming, they'll understand that, there are certain labor standards that must be met. And there are offices, that will hear of concerns and
Mhm.
work with the organization to try to address them. Um,
Mhm.
the other thing that's really important to know is that every film production should have policies and procedures outlined, and they should share it with the cast and crew about, the process for dealing with certain challenges, so that there is
Right.
a mechanism and people aren't afraid, and they know what process to follow, and they know that they won't be punished for doing so. Everyone should be aware of these policies and have a safe outlet for voicing their concerns. the other thing, it's important. Most films have executive producers who
Mm-hmm.
financially support a production, and they
Mm,
support films in other ways as well. These executive producers are also decision makers. They make decisions. They're the ones that decide on many things
mm,
in regards to a film.
mm,
In my opinion, they have a responsibility to ensure that a workplace is safe and that cast and crew and are protected, and no one should have to stay in a toxic workplace and endure any sort of trauma. And
mm-hmm.
unfortunately it happens, and there's not a lot
Mm,
of situations where things get addressed when
mm-hmm.
if you don't understand your rights. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Right, right. And you know what, Gloria, these moments should be really handled with, the immediate action, intervention, prioritizing the, the actors' safety. And at the same time, the well-being as well, by speaking up, just like what you said earlier, by speaking up, reporting the issue to the relevant, outlet or authorities or unions, I must say, because again, it's very important to really foster a culture of, accountability. The transparency should be there within the industry, ensuring that everyone understands the importance of, the safeguarding with the actors, the right, because at the same time, it could also affect their, the mental well-being, health, and that those who witness misconduct feel empowered and supported to act promptly and ethically. So yeah, that's very important. Wow, your book, Gloria, is really amazing. Such an amazing guidance. Now, before we end our session, Gloria, of course, do you have any message to our viewers?
Do I have what?
Do you have
So,
any message? Yeah. Any message to our viewers out there who's wanted to, maybe grab a copy of your book? What's your message for them?
oh, I just encourage you to read the book. If you know of any parents out there who have children who are interested in the arts,
Mm-hmm.
you recommend our book. Um, we have our first invite to a book club to
Mm,
come and talk about our book and share information, answer questions. So if you are involved in a book club, we're more than open to doing the same for you. I think the more conversations we have about this topic, the better.
mm-hmm. Right.
Since we wrote the book, Olivia has continued to work in the industry and has more advanced knowledge. And we would love to be able to share more. So feel free, reach out to us. We do have a website. It's www.booked-it.ca. Our contact information is there. You can reach out to us at any time.
Nice.
We're always open to parents who just have questions, or youth
Mm-hmm.
who want to know more. And we're more than willing to help.
Wow. Thank you so much for that, Gloria. And yes, for our viewers out there, yes, the book is also available on Amazon and Barnes& and Noble. And yes, on their website, that's www.book-it.ca. So again, Gloria, thank you so much for gracing with us today. Thank you for taking us with your journey. And yes, again, Gloria Iatridis, author of the book, Booked, A Strong Start for Your Child Actor. Again, thank you so much, Gloria. And as we say it here in Reader's Magnet, we share your story with the world. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Take care.
You too.